Hey folks, Poster, welcome back to another Pokemon Masters video, and finally, we get to talk about the Synchrons. So we don't have too many, Synchrons coming, the next month. We only have, well, I mean, other than the ones that are launching with the banners, but, in terms of, old free-to-play story units, we only have two, right? And those being Empoleon, Barry Empoleon, and Misty and Starmie. So, it's a tale of two, very, very different stories, right? Starmie is probably just now one of the best units of the game, and Barry is still kind of a joke, unfortunately. So let's get into this. So in terms of their synchrons, let's look at Barry's synchron first, right? Because I would assume a lot of people are really interested in to see what Barry got. Unfortunately, like I've mentioned before, I never thought Barry could get really good offensively because he just doesn't have a good base, right? In comparison to Torkoal has a lot of potential to be a really, really good unit with how Torkoal is with a Synchron, right? But, a lot of people thought, oh, Barry could get a Torkoal level Synchron update, but that's just not, there's just no potential for that there, right? In terms of moves, it's set one bubble beam. Both are not that great in terms of moves, right? You got a full heal, which would be interesting, but that's not, that doesn't have much to do with being a striker. And then your no hesitant is not bad. No hesitant's not bad. But yeah, late feed bubble beams pretty standard. Second move and then power flux 5, which is great. What Barry does have is, again, power flux 5 is nice. The trainer move is not the worst, and Barry has decent base special attack. So looking into his grid, you got some interesting stuff here, right? You got Stamina Reserve 3, you got stuff like haste, right? Like these cakewalk are all the nodes that folks usually look at and say, oh, interesting, but they're probably not going to pick up because there usually are better nodes to use instead. But Barry doesn't have much on his grid to go with, so maybe you could use one of these, right? But generally you don't want to pick up this. One interesting point that I do want to point out is that Barry got haste on his grid, which is a stat reduction passive, right? It's in line with all the other stat reduction prevention passives, right, that come out of the creamy lucky cookie. So that means we get haste on other grids, right? And potentially the big one, Dauntless, right? Unbending Dauntless. These are the big ones. We could potentially get stuff like Dauntless unbending on other synchrons as well. Barry does set a precedent for that, right? So some units like Ho-Oh, Sceptile, whatever. But when they ever Rayquaza, if they ever get a grid, if they get like a Dauntless on their grid, that would be pretty nice. And also, it only costs 5 energy. It's very, very, very cheap to pick up as well. So that's one interesting part about Barry's grid. Again, it's Barry and it's haste for Barry. It's not like the biggest deal in the world, but it just set a precedent for future synchrons to potentially be really, really good, right? Sceptile with Dauntless on the grid, that's really awesome. That would be very, very awesome, right? So anyways, looking into the grid in terms of Barry's offensive capability, he does have some stuff. He got ramming speed, which is nice, right? You got inertia, which I guess you could do, and then there's Hunter's Instinct, which is kind of like ramming speed, but like in reverse. Like you lower the opponent's speed and then it powers up in the moves. And if you're wondering, how does Barry lower the opponent's speed? You have Bubble and Bubble Beam. They both lower the opponent's speed, both at 10%. But for Bubble, you have on roll 1, and then for Bubble Beam, you have on roll 4. So with on roll, you have a decent chance of lowering your opponent's speed, around 50% or so, right? For Bubble Beam, and then Bubbles around 20% or so, which is, again, not the greatest, but it's something. Which could, again, increase your Hunter's Instinct stuff. Something that really sucks about Barry's grid is, all the stuff is just, all over the place. So, if you really want to, pick these up, it's going to be slightly tough, right? I'm not sure if you could even, get to them all. Okay, you get them all, which is really, really nice, right? But yeah, then you're missing out on all the powers, but you can pick these up. That's probably better for the most part, right? Or if you don't pick up on roll, if you're using someone else debuff speed, that would be obviously better, right? You also have Cakewalk, The more the opponent's speed is lower, the more it powers up sync moves. So you could, do something like that. You could pick up both Cakewalk and Inertia. That would make a really hard hitting sync move, right? But obviously, it's not the best. It's not the ideal situation for Barry to be in. But I mean, Barry, the grid's not like the worst, but it definitely doesn't make Barry, unfortunately, incredibly usable, right? You got no hesitation MP refresh, which is nice. No hesitation ramp up, which is also cool, right? Full heal friendly care. This one's pretty cool. Personally, I think, right? Again, Barry might not be the best striker, but does have some interesting capabilities. Friendly care when targeting. When the opponent targets an allied sync pair, restores the HP of the allied sync pair affected by full heal, right? So you can use full heal on one of your tanks if they ever get burned or poisoned, which is really, really good. And then afterwards, if anyone on your teams gets hit, they heal. That's really nice. Barry's a pseudo support-ish kind of unit now, right? Full heal MP refresh, got that as well, which is important. So overall, I wouldn't say Barry's secret is bad. Barry's just not as insane as a lot of people thought. He could have been like a Flannery, Torkoal Flannery or something, right? Obviously, that's not going to be the case. But Barry does have some interesting stuff with the full heal stuff. If you want to make a sync nuke build, that's fine as well. Just don't get your hopes up too much. Really, Barry still doesn't have SPA buffs, right? Other than that, like +1 from the ramp up, right? That you get every time you use no hesitation. So that's what total +2, unless you get NPRs on that. And if you get NPRs, you get max crit there as well. But again, Barry's problem is just like Bulb Beam just sucks. Bulb Beam's not the best move, unfortunately, and even with ramming speed and Hunter's Instinct, which don't boost it by too much, only by 30% each. It's not like not like that much. It's good, but it's not like anything insane, right? It's not like a Paralysis Synergy 5 or whatever, right? But it's a neat little grid, I guess. It makes him better. Not the worst striker in the game anymore. I personally never thought he was like the worst striker in the game. Personally, I do think, concerning Villa, right, I think probably the single worst striker would probably be Avalog. Well, Barry has a good contention down there as well, but Barry's okay, I guess. Just nothing amazing, just slightly disappointing. Anyways, however, moving on to the absolutely just bonkers Synchrid, we have Starmie, Misty and Starmie. Wow. People were waiting for Misty and Starmie's grid, and damn did they deliver. So, one more thing that I do have to mention about Empoleon is at 2 out of 5, you lose loss if you don't have Hunter's Instinct and Bubble on roll, Bulb Beam on roll 4. So at 2 out of 5, unfortunately, you can't do like anything. You don't even have Inertia. But at 3 out of 5, it's not the worst, I guess. Which we do get a striker candy as well. If you want to use it on Empoleon, which I wouldn't suggest you use it on, but if it's your favorite Pokemon, which I know a lot of people like Empoleon, I like Empoleon, right? If you like Barry a lot, then you go ahead and use it on Empoleon, right? But I'm just saying it's not going to be the best. Back to Misty. Misty is just insanity. Misty is just complete insanity. Look at what Misty picks up: Agile Entry, Ridicure. All right. Revenge Boost 2. All right. What else? X Special Defense All MP Refresh. X Special Defense All Selfless, which is not the best, I personally don't think, but it's something, right? What else? Got Blind. We'll talk about the offensive skills later, but just talk about the defensive ones right now. Let's see where we got. Or I guess more supportish stuff. Catches If You Can MP Refresh, which is honestly all she needed. All she needed was Catches If You Can MP Refresh, and she would be, a top tier support in the game. And she got that, right? And she also got X Special Defense MP Refresh as well. But what is more ridiculous is she got Catches If You Can Friendly Care 1. So it's the same as the other one, right? The full heal one that Barry has with if the move it's targeting an allied sync pair and is successful, restores the HP of the allied sync pair affected by the move. Yeah, if you use, catch this if you can on a unit on your tank, and then your tank gets hit. Not only does your tank heal every time your tank attacks the opponent, every time the opponent attacks your tank heals as well. So basically, one turn, queuing up 3 moves, one turn, your tank would basically heal 20% on catches if you can, which, by the way, catches if you can also gives your tank plus, if I remember correctly, +2 evasion, right? Yeah, that's really, really good. And if you use it on Starmie yourself, right, as the tank, which Starmie doesn't have, terrible, defensive stats, right? Got it's not the best, but it's serviceable defensive stats, right? And then if you use it like on yourself, Starmie, and then you catch you get agile entry, and then you get like use it on yourself, and then you get Ridicure 2 on yourself as well, moderate chance of restoring HP when an opponent targeting the user misses, and then you're healing. Well, you get and then you also have a chance for Ridicure heal, another 20%. Yeah, Misty is just absolutely busted. Unfortunately, you don't get this at launch, right? You only get 2 out of 3, right? So you're not getting Ridicure, not getting the friendly care. But once we do get Misty 3 out of 5, Misty 3 out of 5 is just insane. I was joking about how like Swanna instantly got dethroned like what 5 days after she became like the best healer in the game, and then Misty just came in and then just kicked her off, right? Both at 3 out of 5, right? Both at 2 out of 5 aren't they're both great at 2 out of 5, but they're not like just absolute like godly, right? But yeah, a lot of good stuff here, and offensively, for some reason, they made Misty capable as well. Obviously, Misty does not have the best special attack stat, right? But I mean, hey, Ethan's a striker, so who are you to judge, right? So we got some good stuff here, right? We got super duper effective 5. That's an extra 50% damage increase when you're hitting something for super effective. And then you got Smart Cookie as well. The more the special defensive range, more powers up moves. So already you got more damage buffs on Misty's grid than you have on Barry's grid. But to be fair, Barry is just much better in terms of Barry's stat, right? Has better special attack stat, and also Barry does have better offensive buffs, right? But with supports, that could raise your special Misty special attack and Misty's crit. Like Misty just has the better attack, right? Misty has Hydro Pump, and Hydro Pump has plus 15 accuracy, so that brings it to what, 80 or 95, I think, right? And then Hydro Pump increases here. Hydro Pump move gauge refresh 3, and also you got like Hydro Pump Mind Swell 4, which has a good chance of raising your special attack when you're using move. So like Misty might not even be like that bad of a striker, which is kind of crazy, right? And again, Misty is very, very tanky as well, right, for a striker. So yeah, Misty's busted. Misty is definitely busted. There's more Hydro Pump tiles over here. Okay, so you could basically pick up all of the offensive grids. Oh, no. Oh, there's one over there. Okay, that would be like way too powerful. That'll be way too powerful. Okay, that makes sense then. That makes sense. But yeah, Misty, very, very good. Insanely good. They did her well, right? Because again, Misty at base was already a top tier support, right? Now you got MP refresh on catches if you can. And then, once we do get that 3 out of 5, we get the friendly care, get the Ridicure, and offensively you get the super duper effective 5 and the accuracy buff on Hydro Pump. Yeah, Misty, very, very good, very, very strong. When does she come out? Let me check really quick. She comes out during the water type training event, which should be around the time. Oh. Comes out on the 4th. Well, that's very, very soon, right? Oh, June the 4th. This is the water type training event. Come out really, really soon. Yeah, Misty is busted. Barry's not like terrible either. Definitely one of the weaker strikers in the game, unfortunately. But you know, if you really like Barry and just want to use Barry, it's usable now. It's usable now. So, anyways, yeah, that's me. That's what I hope you guys enjoy. Let me know, guys, think in the comments down below. Like if you enjoyed this video, subscribe to my channel for some more Pokemon Masters content. So, got a bit more stuff to share with you guys. Some really interesting tidbits, potentially sneak peeks of some units coming, that may be coming, or some summer outfits in the future. Could be, right? In the next video, and I'll see you guys there.